I'm going to show you how you can actually use arpeggios in an interesting way. In this video, we're going to play over a 1-chord vamp, and I'm going to show you what arpeggios you can play to really access quite a sophisticated sound. What's cool about this is that these arpeggios are really straightforward, really simple. You probably know them. I'm going to show you my approach to them. We're going to start with a simple concept and then work up to a more advanced approach. Now we are going to be working over a single chord vamp in A minor, but this does also work over a 2-5 progression. So A minor to D7 or D9 would be an example of a 2-5 progression, but the main key is A minor, and we're just going to focus on 1 chord for simplicity. Now the tab and backing track, of course, are all available on my Patreon page. There's going to be heaps of stuff available for this lesson, so if you want to subscribe, click the link in the description. The first arpeggio that we're going to go through is a C major 7. Now the chord tones against an A minor chord are the minor 3rd, the 5th, the flat 7, and the 9. That's a really nice sound against that A minor chord. Now you can play it anywhere on the fretboard. Here's a good position. Now the next arpeggio I want to check out is an E minor 7 arpeggio. Now the chord tones against an A minor 7 are the 5th, the flat 7, right, the 9, the perfect 4th. Gives a bit of a different sound. You get that 9 and that sus4 kind of sound. Now you have to think about the relationship of these arpeggios to the home key. So we're in the key of A. So if you want to access the C major arpeggio, that's upper minor 3rd. And if you want to access the E minor 7 arpeggio, that's upper 5th. So if you change keys, that relationship remains the same. So what I like to do is blend the C major 7 and the E minor 7 arpeggio, as well as add in a root note just so I can resolve my phrases. This is what that can sound like. A nice simple idea you can use. Check it out. Just going up the C major 7 arpeggio, which also features an E minor 7 arpeggio, right? I kind of think of that as a C major 9, right? And then there's part of the E minor 7, which is also a G triad. Going up, E minor 7 arpeggio, and then you can land on the root note. So really nice ideas there. So I mentioned G major triad. You can definitely add that in. It's a really sort of sus kind of sound. The intervals of a G major triad are the flat 7, the 9, and the sus4. If you want to add a little bit of extra flavor, you can also add the major 7, which is F sharp, and against that A minor chord, you get an A minor 6 kind of sound. Blended in with all of the other intervals, you get a really, really nice sound. Now there's something called triad pairs, where you pair 2 triads together and create some ideas based on those 2 sounds. I like to pair G and A minor. This is what it can sound like. So you can really work your way down the fretboard and get some really interesting ideas. Really opens up quite a world of different sounds. Now, if we mix all of those together, this is what it can sound like. So let me show you a nice idea there. Starting on the 8th fret of the E string, we're going to go up a C major 7 arpeggio, right? And then we're going to hit the 9 of C, which is 12th fret of the D, and then we're going to go back to the major 7, and then go into the root note and play a C triad. So far we've got this. Right? You could also think of that as being part of the E minor 7 arpeggio. And then we're just going to go down a G major triad. And then we can go down an A minor triad. And then an E minor triad. Right? Some really, really interesting ideas there. All diatonic, but really opening up the sound. So if you do want to dig a little bit deeper and see exactly what I'm doing in these examples, tabs are available on my Patreon page, as well as this backing track that I'm playing to. I kind of think of it as a different sort of roadmap to your regular scale style of playing. Now, one thing I find really interesting and really helpful with these arpeggios is I can sort of fill in the gaps just to apply a little bit of chromaticism without thinking about it too much in terms of an intellectual or a sort of theory-based idea. Check this idea out. So here I'm playing my C major and E minor arpeggio. I'm starting on C, and then I'm really just doing an E minor 7 arpeggio. And then I'm going chromatically down to the 5th of E, right? And then I'll walk my way up a C major 7 arpeggio. And then finish on A to resolve. A really sort of simple approach that compartmentalizes those ideas so you get a little bit more bang for your buck there. One more idea. Now this is kind of an outside idea, just adding the C major sharp 5 arpeggio. This is what it can sound like. So it's really kind of highlighting an E sort of augmented sound. But I like having that C note in there because it does pull a little bit more toward the A minor tonality. Right, it can sound really cool, especially if we mix it with some chromaticism. Check this out. So I hope you got some good ideas out of this. As I said before, tabs and backing track all available on my Patreon page if you want to dig a little bit deeper. Going to be some really cool stuff on there from this lesson. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.